Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining once again. So, border czar Tom Homan is stepping up the fire. I mean, he's really stepping up the fire. According to this article I'm about to read to you guys, he's ordering over 200 worksite searches, I think, every week throughout the country. And what exactly that is, I'm going to get into the article in a minute, but just to let you know, towards the end of this video, I'm going to share a story with you guys that happened about a month or so ago where I work, letting me know personally that this whole reality of sending illegals back to their own homeland or native land is real. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not a joke. It's real. It's real. So let's get right into this article. Yeah, they're not playing around. They're not playing around. President Donald Trump's deputies are stepping up worksite enforcement of the nation's border laws. Enforcement czar Tom Homan told Breitbart News Saturday. I ordered a vast increase in work enforcement. We've got a plan right now of 200 work sites a week, Homan told Breitbart News on March 8th. Better, quote, for companies to get square of the law than us to take action, he added. Now, some people may interpret that, oh, he's bullying. I don't interpret that as bullying. I interpret that as, look, you need to straighten up. You need to straighten up because you're hurting the American people is what you're actually doing. Okay, let's read on. The focus on work sites, quote, represents a fundamental restructuring, end quote, compared to the Biden administration more measured approach to worksite enforcement, noted the National Law Review. Employers across industries must prepare for what many experts anticipate will be the most aggressive immigration enforcement environment in recent history, the review said. The article goes on to say the flood of migrants has lowered Americans' wages, raised their housing costs, and reduced the productivity gain and innovation needed to keep pace with China's rapid evolution. And some people are upset about that, but we got to understand if in other words, if my friend is watching this, I kind of understand things from the perspective of the Trump administration. I know that, talking about God is in control. Yes, he is. And we need to all be prepared because we don't know for sure, right? We all need to be prepared. And I understand that. But if my friend is watching this, I want you to also understand, too, that there's a reason behind what Trump is trying to do. This is what the Biden administration did with allowing all of these illegals, millions of them, basically since he's been in office, to come into, if it's not millions, it's hundreds of thousands. I know it's a lot. To come into this country and be hired by these employers and so forth, it has hurt American people who want a job. It has essentially hurt the housing situation. I mean, my friend, if you're watching this now, this has caused housing costs to go up. Okay. I mean, look, my rent ended up being raised. Okay. Here I am struggling, trying to pay rent, facing eviction myself. And I'm an American. And I would bet you any amount of money that part of the reason for that is because of the illegals flooding our country. I'm not going to get into the detail of that, but it is what it is. I personally have to pay for that type of nonsense. Okay. And you got to understand that as the article says, keeping pace with China's rapid evolution, China is rising in terms of economics and so forth. They're our greatest competition. They really are. And if China takes over economically and technologically, if they take over, we are done. We are done because that means that China can impose communism and I mean, just about no holds barred. They've already been pushing communism in our country. They already own and control a lot of industries. They control a lot of Hollywood studios. They control a lot of the Hollywood studios. They've invested a lot of money in these studios, so they control a lot there. So China has a strong arm, and if we don't wake up and see what is really happening, they're going to just overrun us. So one of the things I believe Trump is doing is he's trying to push that away. He's trying to make America competitive again, because under the Biden administration, America wasn't competitive. Biden tore us down with all the illegals. But Trump is trying to make us competitive again in the country. I mean, people say, well, people try to say, well, that's not good. I mean, no. It is good. It is good because quiet as it may be kept. Do you want America to still be number one, or do you want some other country that's a communist country or a totalitarian country or a dictatorship to be number one? I'm just saying. So, yeah, let's go on. Okay. The article goes on to say the flood also washed away economic pressure on U.S. employers to find, train, and pay at least 5 million welfare-dependent men who have drifted out of the workplace since the year 2000. That's terrible. Employers have greatly reduced their socialization and training of American youth since the 1990s. And that's a sad fact. Let me read that again. Employers have greatly reduced their socialization and training of American youth since the 1990s, even though they have many special protections and benefits in law, such as bankruptcy rules and tax deductions. Employers hire illegals because they can pay them less, work them harder, and undercut their law-abiding competition, Homan said. Work sites are, quote, the number one place where we find victims of trafficking, Homan said. That's very disturbing. Let me read that again. According to Homan, okay? According to Homan, I may have to research this to find out the fact check, they're going to say. But he says work sites are, quote, the number one place where we find victims of trafficking. Now, that's a problem. He says the Biden administration stopped it, and that's why trafficking went sky high. 600% increase in trafficking, he said. That's all I'm going to read right there. Yeah. That's a startling number. It is disturbing, and it ought not be. The policies of the Biden administration were very destructive to this country. But if you watch the mainstream media, you're not going to really find that out. You're not going to really find out because the mainstream liberal media is going to cover it up. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay. Yeah, but this is what he's trying to do. Now, let me share a story with you really quickly that happened on my job about a month or so ago. That's in related to this work site illegal, the hiring of illegals in work sites. I'm not going to say the security firm that I work for. I don't want to put them out there in blast, but because it's not their fault anyway. But anyway, I'll share with you guys that I work in security at downtown Tower City, and 4 days out of the week, I was transferred to the May Company building, which is no longer a clothing store now. So it's an apartment complex now, so it's not a clothing store. Of course, you guys probably know that, but anyway. So I was working 4 days a week over the May Company building, and then only 1 day a week at Tower City on bike. But thank the Lord, okay, by God be the glory, I have been transferred over there for 5 days out of the week now because I switched up with another coworker. So she now does bike patrol. But anyway, so I'm over there and I'm working and everything, right? And I'm sitting down in the break room, and I'm on my lunch and everything, relaxing. And one of the cleaning ladies from a cleaning company, I won't say the name of the cleaning company as well. But this lady, she's a Puerto Rican. Now, I didn't know she was Puerto Rican. I actually thought she was Mexican because her accent was so strong. And most Puerto Ricans that I have talked with, in the past, so forth, they didn't have that strong of an accent, but she had a real strong accent at first, and her color was a little darker than most Puerto Ricans that I have personally seen. Okay, so I thought she might have been Mexican. I said, it's interesting, but she came to me. Well, let me back up a little bit. I had been noticing that there weren't a lot of all of a sudden. A lot of the cleaners and so forth, a lot of the people that were supposed to be, cleaning stuff, I hadn't been seeing them. I said, what's going on, So she came to me one day while I was down in the break room. She comes to me and she's like, she says, they fired all of those workers. I said, what are you talking about? She said, yes, they fired them. She says, they weren't supposed to be here. They weren't supposed to be here, and they came in and they fired them. And I said, what are you talking about? Because she had a pretty thick accent. I really didn't fully understand what she was saying, and I had to hone in on what she was saying. And evidently, she was basically saying that I guess law enforcement came in, did a check, found out that some of the people that were hired as cleaners weren't supposed to be here. They were here illegally because the company hired them. Okay. And I had been noticing some of the people was like, they didn't speak any English at all. Like, what is this? Why are you hiring these people? And I kind of speculated that was what was going on, but I was not sure. Well, anyway, she said they tried to do the same to me, and she took a sheet of paper out of her purse, and she showed me this sheet. It was immigration papers from Homeland Security. It's a Homeland Security. I don't remember everything that was in it. She showed it to me. Said they tried to do me like that to see if I was, but I have my papers. You get what I'm trying to say. And I said, good for you. And she told me they've hired all those people because I guess Homeland Security, or the immigration people came and said, you guys got to go. You're here illegally. In other words, they're not playing. It hit right where I work. So these people are not playing. Now, I understand on a business side why a lot of businesses are hiring these illegals and so forth, because as the article says, as Homan was saying, they don't have to pay them anything. They don't have to pay them, which is crazy because it's like if the cleaners, I don't get much, but if the cleaners is getting, let's just say $10 an hour, $10, $11, $12 an hour. I think it's some alone. I think they get like 12. And you hire an illegal that speaks very little of any English, they're probably paying them like $6 or $7, maybe less than that. And you can do that because they're not on paper. Because if they were on paper, they'd be found out. I'm going to assume they're not on paper. Okay, I'm going to assume they're not on paper because I can't help but wonder that if the government is finding out that they're here illegally, then they must be on some kind of paper. But then again, maybe not. Maybe they came in and said, we want to know, the people that's working for you want to know if you're, legals, woo. But anyway, didn't even matter. I can understand on a business level why they would hire these illegals, because they don't have to pay them anything. They save themselves money. But see, you're hiring illegals, and here's the problem too. When you hire an illegal, when the company or the business hires an illegal, by default, you are rejecting an American who's qualified for the position. So you put an American out of work, whom you know you have to actually pay in order to pay less to an illegal that you hire. Is that fair? Is that right? Of course it's not. So the businesses need to shape up and get their act together, because this is real. Where there's no time to play. And as the article continues to go on and say, hey, look, you guys going to end up facing, you'll end up either being put in jail or fined or whatever. Get your act together. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Yeah, this is hitting home. This is hitting home. It has hit home with me. And even our mayor here is, in the city of Cleveland, is yicking and yakking, and he's crying and he's upset about the possible cuts to programs that Trump may initiate in this city. And as I was sharing with my friend, I don't believe there should be too much of a concern if you are not able to work and you're not able to do things that you don't need to be concerned. I don't think Trump is going to cut the welfare out and all this kind of stuff. I don't believe he's going to do that. No Republican has ever cut welfare. So we need to quit playing that. That's the game that Democrats play all the time. Oh, these Republicans gonna come in, they're gonna cut welfare, and the Republicans get in and they will never cut welfare. They don't cut it because most of the time the Republicans are just as bad as the Democrats when it comes to wanting people to be totally dependent on the government. But that's another story, and I digress. The point is, Trump is not going to cut people off their welfare benefits per se. But if you're able to work and you're able to do what you need to do, you ought to be afraid. Be very afraid, because you might just get cut. So yeah. People need to do what they need to do. They need to shape up. They need to shape up and get up and go to work. That is not a bad thing. I don't think that is bad at all. Okay. So, yeah. So this is what the deal is right here. What do you guys think about what Homan is saying here? What do you think he's doing? Do you think he's overdoing it, or you think he's doing the right thing? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.